I would say. It also requires, so reducing the cost of interaction with the government, to reduce the number of different instances to which businesses have to go to get the necessary permits to develop their activity. Here the link to the program is what we are pushing is this point of single contact. So you would have a one-stop shop where you can get all your paperwork done. This is a requirement of the EU anyway. It's part of the Services Directive. But Romania has been lagging behind in implementing it. And through the leverage of the program, we have been pushing the authorities, and lately with some success, to put this into place. And we are hopeful that by the end of this year, it would be largely operational. Third element of low interaction costs with the government is an efficient system for filing and paying taxes, involving fewer tax filings per year and the possibility to do it electronically. I think also in this area, during the program, progress has been made. I remember tables from a few years ago where there was an incredible number of tax filings in Romania, nearly every week on average, which provoked a very bad score. And these are kind of things you can easily improve. It doesn't cost money. Actually, it might save money, and it would be a big boost to the business environment, I would think. And again, essential to convince investors to invest in Romania and put their money in. A fourth element is that a better and quicker functioning judicial system is needed. We are often that there are very long litigation procedures. It's very easy to litigate. This reduces the speed with which projects can be implemented. It's also one of the reasons why this EU absorption of funds is low, because as soon as one company wins the contract, others try to litigate to get part of the share, and all this is delaying. This is not covered by the program as such, but it's covered by the cooperation and the verification mechanism on Romania. And in this context, a functional review has been ordered and paid for by the Commission, by the World Bank, which is currently going on the judicial system. And we expect it to be completed by the end of the year. And then we hope to see recommendations to the Romanian government on what are the priority actions in this regard. A fifth element is that you need a sound and competitive banking sector that can fully play its role in providing credit to the economy on a sustainable basis without contributing to booms and busts. The tensions in the euro area debt markets and the Greek crisis have constituted a source of vulnerability for the Romanian banking sector, which is dominated by euro area parent banks. However, the continuous support of these parent banks to their Romanian subsidiaries, which also in the context of the Vienna initiative was a kind of quid pro quo or accompanying measure to the program when we started it in 2009, coupled with the program measures to foster banking stability, have enabled the banking sector to withstand ongoing difficulties and to continue providing credit to the households and companies. In the context of the program, measures were taken to strengthen the protection of bank depositors, to increase the capacity of the central bank in its capacity as the banking sector supervisor, to deal with banks facing difficulties, and to ensure appropriate coverage of impaired loans by loan loss provisions. Sixth element out of the 9, it means developing the capital market. Here we have a link in the sense that we are helping for a start the Treasury to improve its public debt management, whereby the Treasury would build up a longer yield curve than currently exists in Romania. A seventh point, I think, which is very important, is that Romania should make the most of its state-owned enterprises by improving the functioning and the contribution they can thereby deliver to the economic development of Romania. We have also helped the government to work out some solutions for the financial blockages in the system, from the government not paying to the company not paying to another company, etc., so that to get the money flowing again. And an important thing which we are catering for in 2013 is the implementation of the EU Late Payments Directive. This Late Payment Directive requires all the member states, so also Romania, to pay its new bills on time as of March 2013. So when we're discussing with the authorities the budget for 2013, we will be making sure that they have the money to pay the new bills which are going to be produced next year. So we need a realistic budgeting of that. Ninth and last point, I think the regulators, they have to abide by the terms of agreed arrangements and be freed of political interference, which all too often has prevented them from doing their job, which bad consequences for many companies. So through the program, we have been working on the reform of the regulatory bodies in Romania to make them more professional and independent in the tasks of developing and applying the regulations. In particular, the IFI supported a reform related to the energy regulator ANDRE, and we hope that this law, which was the last element in the energy sector, is going to be published maybe tomorrow, if it has been finally promulgated. Also, we have been working on the Railways Supervisory Council. Now, to resume, over the last 3-4 years, we have gone a long way to help the Romanian authorities redress the macroeconomic imbalances. The current account deficit, the government deficit have been brought down importantly. These imbalances had previously developed in Romania during the years that the trees seemed to grow into the sky. But this was revealed as being unsustainable through the economic and financial crisis of 2008. Through the international assistance, the adjustment to these imbalances could take place in a smoother way than would otherwise have been the case. This is not to say that the austerity measures that Romania had to adopt were not painful. Sure, they were. But the point is that without this assistance, the adjustment would have been so much more severe, with bad consequences for economic activity, for delay, etc. Now, following this adjustment, I'm quite confident that the years of big macroeconomic adjustment needs and related austerity measures are now behind us. Rather than taking any important additional measures, it is now key to steer a steady course in the years to come. It means that the government should behave prudently in drawing up and in executing its budget so as to ensure that public finance remain under control. The budget should be based on prudent assumptions as regards growth, inflation, tax revenue, etc., so as to avoid that negative surprises are bound to occur when the budget is executed and additional measures have to be taken at short notice. The mistakes of the past, such as unsustainable increases in public sector employment, in public sector wages, and in pensions, should be avoided in the future. Romania's biggest remaining challenge is to revitalize its economy. Some first steps have been taken, but there is a whole lot more that remains to be done. State-owned enterprises have to be reformed. The many unhealthy ties between government departments and state-owned enterprises have to be cut, and the SOEs have to be run on a professional basis in order to valorize these assets in the interest of those that ultimately own them. That is to say, the Romanian people. Romania needs also foreign capital to finance the big investment needs in its economy. This money will not flow into Romania spontaneously. I think the years of euphoria linked to EU accession are definitely behind us. So Romania will have to work hard to attract these funds, especially those from quality investors that bring serious projects to the table. It should work to establish a healthy and predictable business climate in which a good return on investment can be made. It will require sustained efforts over a number of years in a broad range of areas. This will require political stability and politicians to really focus on the ball. And I do not mean the political ball, I mean the economic ball. Only in this way there will be hope for sustainable increases in the living standards of the Romanian people. So Romania is ready to walk out of the hospital, but it will require strenuous efforts to really get fit again. Romania has a lot of potential, but it will have to work hard to realize it. Thank you very much for your attention.